This just in, another Blackpool resident was reported missing today in a case that continues to baffle local authorities.
Okay, and with that intro, hello and welcome to Let's Replay Mystery Case Files Escape from Ravenhearst. I'm MCFPapa and this is part 1. And now, Escape from Ravenhearst, of course, is the end of the Ravenhearst trilogy, and there were absolutely no future attempts to take the series and continue it. There just weren't. So, what a conclusion it is. So, with that out of the way, we'll get started pretty soon. Though I do like the, kind of fire effects over the text for Ravenhearst. It's something I literally never noticed until this very playthrough. Although something I don't get is why there's the burnt out remains of Ravenhearst in the background here, and then they're also in the background right there too. I don't know. I also don't get why this game just reuses Return to Ravenhearst's theme instead of coming up with its own unique one. Although I guess that's understandable because Return to Ravenhearst's theme is so good. But anyway, time to get started, and of course, I am such a professional that I will be playing on Master Detective difficulty. So, hoo boy, will it be a challenge. I've only done this game 40 times in my life before this playthrough. But the game opens up and it's immediately a callback to good old Dyer Grove with the Master Detective's car, though it's a bit worse for wear in the time since Dyer Grove. Because you can just break poor Madame Fate's head. There's the good old gate. Can change the gear shift and honk the horn. And in the glove compartment, get it? Because the Master Detective's British, they keep a cup of tea in their glove compartment. And you can take some matches out. Though I guess I should really start off with reading this. Shortly after my brief stint in Louisiana, I received a curious missive from an anonymous source. A small parcel containing a simple invitation was wrapped inside clipped articles from various newspapers. The invitation's brevity, combined with the grim nature of the headlines, suggests something quite ominous transpiring again on the coast of England. I swore to myself I would never revisit that house near the cliffs. I have no wish to look upon its burnt shell and remind myself of the horrors beneath it. Yet here I stand in Blackpool, preparing once more to return to these haunted grounds, and hopefully survive long enough to tell the tale of my escape from Ravenhearst. And now, even though I think this game has the worst collector's edition out of any of the Big Fish Studios MCF games, I will say it's really cool having morphing objects to find in the journal itself. And another really cool improvement over the journal from previous games is that there's flavor text like the master detective will say when you investigate specific stuff in the journal. And of course that picture is just ripped directly from the original Ravenhearst title screen. But if it works, it works, I guess. Also, graphically, I mean, this game is really nice looking. Like, they put in a lot of effort into this. And, like, look at that. That's great. There's the good old intercom we saw in Return to Ravenhearst, though it's kind of been ripped apart. But the wires are something for later. Quite a bit later in the game, in fact. But they're there. The gate is all locked. And, you know, in most horror games, police and authorities are kind of dumb. But I respect that the local authorities in this game were smart enough to just padlock Ravenhearst up with like 5, 6 different padlocks and chains, because you do not want anyone going through Ravenhearst. But we can't go through anymore there because of the fog, and that condemnation image, that's just reused from the front door of the Return to Ravenhearst. I guess the authorities really realized that just boarding up the front door wasn't enough. We need to padlock and lock it out from anyone who's dumb enough to go inside Ravenhearst again. Case in point, Master Detective, dumb enough. But hey, remember this locket from the very end of Return to Ravenhearst?
Down here.
Some creepy voices in the grate.
We're down here.
But I like this, it's a nice little callback. And it has a lot more use in this game.
Detective, you should not have returned. It's not safe for you here. My soul is now free, but I fear that you are in great danger. Because you've done so much to help me and the others, we now promise to follow and assist you. Unfortunately, altering the appearance of objects in the world of the living is the only way for us to offer physical support. If you must stay here, use my locket as your guide to find the changing objects. See if you can locate the changing object on the automobile.
And now this is my main complaint with Ravenhearst, or this escape from Ravenhearst, I should say, is that instead of hidden object scenes, there's just a bunch of morphing object scenes, which I think are a lot weaker.
Well done, Detective. Now, find the changing objects outside the gate, so that we may assist you in your investigation. We wish you luck, but be mindful of the perils that await you.
Yeah. Because I think they're a lot weaker, because to my knowledge, they aren't ever randomized or anything. It's always the same things. Like the socks morphing in the flowers. This flower's turning blue. The trash bag there. And the R is transforming to an A. I do wonder if that was trying to set up Alistair Dalamar, but I don't think Big Fish Studios knew that they were going to have Alistair Dalamar as a character. I think that was something Elephant Games probably came up with for Fate's Carnival. Upon my arrival at the manor gates, I stepped from my vehicle into a large puddle born from the chilly autumn rain. A quick flash of gold near a storm grating caught my attention, and I reached down to collect a locket that once belonged to a woman whose spirit I wrestled from this awful place. Just then, the locket's owner and manor's namesake appeared before me and delivered a warning that caused the hairs on my arms to rise. Emma's ghost advised me to leave Blackpool before I meet her fate. Upon refusing, she offered to follow and assist me by altering the appearance of objects that might aid in my investigation. After some hesitation, I paused, looked around, and finally collected the objects she affected. True to her word, Emma's locket suddenly burst open with a blast of ghostly energy, drawing my attention to a nearby lantern. When I looked again, she was gone. Although at the very least in this game, Emma Ravenhearst appears more than once, like she did in Return to Ravenhearst. So that's one improvement this game has over the other one. Yeah. And the morphing object here is these flowers in the photo. I'm not sure, I don't think whether a morphing object counts toward the orange tab or the yellow tab. I don't think there's like anything different with the objects you find. I think that's just to divide them in half so you unlock the two things. I'm not sure. Alright, but now we can investigate the lantern she smashed, and it highlights a can opener that was lying here. One thing I don't get is why the ghosts can't just, like, highlight and circle the objects you need. Like, they kinda can when you get a hint, but instead, I guess they want to be more dramatic by, like, destroying a lantern to smash it on the ground where you need to look. I don't know. Can swing the swing, and there's a rope there, and a metal bar that I can't get free. And now something, this series is the first one I'm recording on the new computer I just got. And the computer's monitor, I'm not sure if the color settings are different, even though it's a laptop, so I don't know how that would work. Or like the gamma maybe is off sync or something, but this sky here looks a lot more blue than I remember it being. It always looked like a dark purple to me. So it's a bit surreal, like seeing Ravenhearst in like this different perspective from what I'm used to.
Detective, we must go away before it is too late.
Now that wasn't actually the live actress for the twins. It was just a 3D animation of them. I guess they thought they could get away with it. Or maybe they thought like the underwater look of the Blanstons in 13th Skull didn't look too good, so they just went with animation. I don't know.
We're down here.
But we hear more of the cries for help.
Can't move my legs. Help. We're down here. I can't move my legs.
Yeah, they recorded a fair few lines. I'm pretty sure there's a female voice who's like, please help us, or something too. But anyway, we go here and it's a morphing object scene that's just like a total throwback to Return to Ravenhearst. There's the Roseville sign. There's the mannequin in the shower. I always love to break its head and pop it back on. There's of course the Whack-A-Troll game, which I don't think it's functional anymore. There's a stove you can't open. One thing I will say, though, is that I had a much harder time playing this game on my worst computers, because the morphing objects would just morph so slow. Not the one I recorded the non-commentary playthrough on, but the computer I had before that one, it just ran awful. So it's nice to have, like, be able to experience it in its true glory, even when on recording, which uses up so much processor power. I spoke too soon when I complained about all the all the morphing objects are in the same place all the time. That makes it so easy. So they should have been randomized. Yeah. I mean, it's... Oh yeah, I can't believe I forgot about that. That one of the trolls on the Wacka troll actually morphs. But hey, they briefly powered up the Wacka troll for one final time, so we can get a rag. Wow, what a great reward, ain't it? I came across some familiar fixtures under a bridge outside the manor. The remains of an old Wackatroll machine have been discarded and left to rot beside a shallow stream. Upon inspecting the machine, Emma's locket sprung open to offer ghostly assistance. Sure enough, after locating clues left by my otherworldly helpers, the game machine briefly came to life, knocking over a bucket that contained a rag I may have used for later. There is also an abandoned stove here, but when I tried to look inside, I found its door rusted shut. I should find something to pry it open. Yeah, now, the morphing object here... What is it? Is it one of the corners? Is there a morphing object here? I know some of the things... Some of the pages don't have morphing objects. Because I think there's something like 39 pages, and there's only 31 morphing objects to find, but I guess this is one that doesn't. To my knowledge, I don't think any of them have more than one, from what I remember. Like, no page has more than one morphing object in it, so... Oh, it's a raven. And some mail that can't get quite yet. And remember this cottage from Return to Ravenhearst? It's a bit worse for wear. Yet another goes missing from Blackpool. Local authorities remain baffled by seemingly unrelated disappearances. And then there's some very small text. You can pause and read it if you want. I'm not gonna strain my eyes. Though the wife stealing horse is a pretty funny side headline. I guess that's carrying on the tradition from 13th Skull, where there was the funny toilet seat horseshoe contest in the newspaper. If we go look over here, there's a shovel for us and some very treacherous cliffs. I'm honestly surprised this, like, wooden fence is still standing. Yeah, what the master detective said. And then there's a handy faucet and a window that you could really, like, yeah, it's jagged glass, but you could find, like, a branch or some debris here and just bash the window out. But I guess you want to you to do the door. You can't even solve the domino puzzle to get in anymore because it's just all falling apart. It ain't the can opener or bottle opener. Really? I guess not. Guess I'm misremembering this game. Oh boy. It's too early for that sort of thing. Alright, now here you can like see a shadow there, which is so spooky. I think though, like the way the lightning strikes it, it's just like a fake mannequin or something up there. That's a creepy effect, and that's one thing I'll give this game props for. It's probably...
Please, heed our warnings, Detective. Turn back while you still can.
One thing I will give this game props for is it probably has the most effective horror out of any of the MCF games. Maybe Dire Grove has a bit higher tier, but like Dire Grove, which has more of a fear of being alone in a desolate wasteland, like this game's horror is more just unsettling and unnerving, the things you gotta do in it. And this MCF game was actually the first one to, on their Big Fish Games site, have to put a warning for people that are gonna want to play it, that it's super intense and not intended for like little kids and such. And of course with our Butterfingers we just drop the key right in. Now with a rock you can just bash the bar and get the bar. Wow. But what will we use the bar for? Find out in the next part. So like and subscribe if you want. I'll see you then.